It is exactly 1 p.m. this 5th day of March 2021. Welcome to the UBC Lunchtime News with I, your anchor, Wadulo, Mark Arnold. And without further ado, we have fresh stories for you. And to start out our bulletin this afternoon, the Supreme Court is expected to retire a presidential election petition filed by the National Unity Platform leader, Robert Kyagulanyi, citing unfairness and bias of the judges handling the matter today. However, court is held between a hard rock and a hard surface as Robert Kyagulanyi's lawyers face issues of being in possession of expired legal practicing licenses that put the whole proceedings of court into a dilemma. Let's have an update of what is taking place at the Supreme Court.
A petitioner to proceed upon a petition that he himself agrees is unmeritorious. So to that extent, my Lord, we do not oppose this application. Further, my Lord, we agree with the petitioner and associate ourselves with him when he says that no agreement or corrupt bargain has been entered into between the parties.
The Honorable Chief Justice and the Justices of the Supreme Court, the third respondent appears before you in this matter by way of an affidavit in reply that has been deposed to by the Honorable Jackson Kafuzi on the 26th of February 2021 and filed in this Honorable Court on the same day and served on counsel for the applicant. My Lords, again, on behalf of the third respondent, the law in regard to withdrawal of presidential election petitions, as has already been discussed here, is provided for under Section 61(1) of the Presidential Elections Act, number 16 of 2005, which states as follows.
In another development, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has showed up at the Inter-Party Organization for Dialogue meeting at Kololo Independence Grounds to exchange views with opposition leaders on pressing governance issues, with exception of the National Unity Platform Party, which is not a party of the IPOD, and FDC that expressed interest of not attending the meeting where the NRM party is the convener. Other political parties are fully represented with their secretary generals and party presidents. Now we also have highlights of the summit before it went on for closed-door negotiations.
We think that is something to salute, and we want to take note of it. We have, over the years, Your Excellency and distinguished leaders, supported a wide range of capacity-building initiatives focusing on important things like youth leadership development, enhancing women participation in politics and decision-making, strengthening intra-party conflict resolution. And in all these activities, Your Excellency and distinguished leaders, we would do them in a cross-party manner, bringing leaders from the different parties at the different levels to work together. We have seen them bonding, we have seen them learning from each other, we have seen them exchanging ideas, and we have seen them behave more and more like brothers and sisters of the big Ugandan family. We have supported processes of manifesto and policy development. On my desk we have the manifestos of all the political parties that participated in the election, including those that did not field a presidential candidate. And every time we are reading through these manifestos, we get excited that maybe it is possible that one day our politics will be issue-driven politics. We are looking forward to a day when the politics of this country is about issues and not personalities. In the period leading to the elections, Your Excellency and distinguished leaders and fellow Ugandans, the IPOD Secretariat supported the delegates' conferences of the various member parties who needed such support. And we also went and took part in these delegates' conferences as invited guests. And I can tell you, sir, that it was a very good thing to see delegates' conferences happening while delegations from sister parties are in attendance, witnessing the internal democratic processes of their sister parties. This is a very credible development, and deserves to be noted.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, who is also the National Chairperson of NRM and the current Chair of the Summit of the IPOD, the members of the Summit of IPOD, represented by Honorable Robert Mao from the Democratic Party, Honorable Akena from the UBC, and the members of the Council present here, and the delegates who represent the various parties. I want to take this opportunity on behalf of the NRM Secretary General, who is the chairperson of the Council, to welcome you to this summit. Your Excellency, the President of Uganda, we want to thank you to have found time on your busy schedule to convene this very important meeting, and at this very important time when we have just gone through an election. Your Excellency, the NRM took over leadership of IPOD on the 22nd December last year. That was a very busy schedule and busy time because it coincided with the presidential elections and other elections in Uganda and campaigns. And we have since made tremendous progress since that time. We are having the summit when we have just gone through an election. And allow me, Your Excellency, on behalf of the people gathered here to congratulate you upon the successful elections that we have had and upon your renewed commitment to provide leadership at IPOD, but also the state of Uganda. Your Excellency, as NRM, we are committed to keeping the IPOD members together and provide this leadership amid these very challenging circumstances. We are doing this at a time when some members of IPOD, for reasons yet to be known or others to be advanced, have chosen, one, not to be present at this meeting. But because NRM has been founded on dialogue and interacting with people, this is the foundation on which NRM has been able to keep the country together for over 35 years. Because of this, therefore, we still believe and have hope that by the end of the day, all members of IPOD and those bound to join are going to be kept together so that Uganda is best provided with the leadership it deserves. We also, as NRM,
those are updates from this morning. We'll be giving you an in-depth piece later on in our subsequent bulletins. In another development, environmentalists are worried about the rising water levels on Lake Victoria, and the situation is likely to be worse than last year, and have advised the population around the protected zones of the lake not to go back. Now, they disclosed this during a press briefing on Uganda Water and Environment Week 2021 at their headquarters in Luzira under the theme Ensuring Water and Environment Security for Socio-Economic Transformation of Uganda. Now, our reporter Zahara Abigaba has a report on this.
The Ministry of Water and Environment officials have expressed concerns on the deteriorating water quality of Lake Victoria due to environmental degradation, climate change, among other activities that led to the pollution of the lake.
The rivers have turned brown because the soil finds its way into the water, because everywhere has been, there are no trees, they have cultivated everywhere. So we need to wake up. We shall have a very serious disaster in this country. These practices of ours, these bad practices, coupled with climate change, even Corona will be nothing compared to what will happen.
We talk about Lake Victoria. Lake Victoria water is actually polluted. Again, we are talking about plastics. We are getting wastewater that is not treated, discharged into the lake. That's why we are having the lake water not being of good quality. So for you to use that water for drinking, it has to be treated. And right now, National Water is spending a lot of money, about 3 times the amount of money they were spending about 5 years ago. So that's why we want to address these challenges, for example, of plastic pollution, so that the quality of our water can remain. But
in the same note, the environmentalists warned about the likelihood of water volume on Lake Victoria rising again, surpassing what happened last year, and warned the population living around the protection zone.
But last year, on 19th May, the record was broken and we surpassed that. So we reached 13.48 meters above the measuring point in Jinja, while in 1964 had reached 13.41. So where we are now, our worry is that when we reach May, we might actually go beyond the 13.48. So the situation is actually likely to be worse than last year. So right now, many people have been displaced. So as the Honourable Minister mentioned, you are supposed to have an area which is called a protection zone around the lake. If you go into that protection zone, when the level goes up, water will always try to find its level. So many of the people who were displaced, including the hotels and buildings, were in a wrong place.
While addressing the media, the State Minister of Water and Environment unveiled the Uganda Water and Environment Week 2021 under the theme Ensuring Water and Environment Security for Socio-Economic Transformation of Uganda. One of the key activities of Water Week will be boat expedition on Lake Victoria to raise awareness on the environmental challenges facing Lake Victoria, emphasizing on single-use plastics. The Ministry of Water and Environment first held its Water Week in 2018 to enable stakeholders deliberate on patent issues in the sector. Zahara Abigaba, UBC.
In another unfortunate event, a 60-year-old farmer identified as Johnson Musahas has been killed by an elephant in Karusandara village, Karusandara parish, Karusandara sub-county in Kasese district, and we have the details.
The lifeless body of Johnson Mbusa, a resident of Nyamirami in Muhokia sub-county, was discovered by his son, Jawad Kitaribara, himself surviving death after running to the bush. According to Jawad, the deceased met his death at around 11 p.m. while trying to make an alarm to rescue his son from the marauding elephant that had escaped from Queen Elizabeth National Park.
Tubire tulyamire twahura enjojo yayije mu bisasa mu bikonko ebire yezira mu bikonko twayimuka mu bitanda twahika hero.
This was confirmed by Uganda Wildlife Authority Public Relations Officer Hanji Bashir.
Kituufu nnyo twafunye amawulire ag'okubeera nti waliwo enjovu eyafulumye mu bitundu eby'e Karusandara. Tulinawo omwami ayitibwa Mbusa Johnson yabadde azimbyewo akayumba katinyawo mwasula ne mutabani we. Enjovu yazze essaawa nga 6 ogw'ekiro ne badduka kati baddusa nti kudduka nnyo myaka muntu yazaliwa mu 19
Residents who were still stuck with the body at the scene blamed the Uganda Wildlife Authority officers for recklessness.
Kiro abashinja ni barani barinda abana nabo misana
ineri no rimambweno ejojo litafu munonga.
They request government to extend the electricity fence to Karusandara sub-county to avoid occurrences of such incidences.
So this problem has persisted for quite a long time.
Irene Faith Nantongo, UBC News.
Quite unfortunate right there. However, let's take a short break and we'll be back after these messages.
Stay connected to the largest 4G network in Uganda, anytime, anywhere, using the Airtel 4G Pocket MiFi, available at only 123,000 Uganda shillings. This comes with 15 GB free, valid for a month. You can connect up to 10 users at a go and still enjoy a shared yet unmatched internet experience. Dial *175*9# to activate free 15 GB. Visit the nearest Airtel shop to get one today. Airtel, the smartphone network. Airtel is regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission.
It's no secret that ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field couldn't be possible without it.
And now we can watch our favorite show.
My radio is my best friend.
UCC provides an enabling regulatory environment and policy guidance for healthy competition. We also facilitate ease of doing business in the communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations. Driving the development of a robust communication sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.
The day the world stopped was the day we found where to go. From now on, we are not going to leave anything on our plates, because we've learned to savor the moments that were always there, and they never tasted this good.
Welcome back. You're still watching the UBC Lunchtime News, streaming on Facebook and live here at Broadcast House. We now take you to the world of business. Standard Chartered Bank, through the Standard Chartered Foundation, has donated 750 million shillings to support over 600 youth in agribusiness. Now, the initiative is geared at supporting micro, small and medium agribusinesses in the districts of Lira and Nebi that have been negatively impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, reporter Charlotte Amuge with a report.
Agriculture. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic. However, the agriculture sector players are optimistic that with the involvement of the youth, the sector is bound for the quicker and steady recovery.
Agriculture remains the mainstay of Uganda's economy, and our efforts, both public and private, should be directed at promoting investments in the sector for increased incomes and employment. So we need to develop the capacity of youth and interest them to participate along the agricultural value chains, and even to understand and participate in offering solutions to change to the challenges that are affecting agriculture.
The Standard Chartered Foundation's donation to micro, small and medium agribusinesses is aimed at escalating the slow recovery process of the agriculture sector in Lira and Nebi through targeted mentorship and training.
This funding
target to support 600 youth who would receive business development and digital marketing skills and also benefit from experienced business mentors. Also, 100 most vulnerable youth would receive cash grants worth 2 million UGS each to help them revive their businesses that might have been impacted by COVID-19.
Through business development training, we will enable strategic linkages with existing and future investments opportunities and provide technical support in, for instance, developing business plans, coaching and mentoring.
The Youth in Agribusiness project will be implemented in collaboration with ICCO Corporation and Youth in Agribusiness International. Irene Faith Nantongo.
National Water and Sewerage Corporation has incorporated a new system to connect all its customers that were disconnected due to the failure to meet their water bills back on supply. In an exclusive with the national television, Engineer Dr. Silva Mujisha, the Managing Director of National Water and Sewage Corporation, said that 10% of all its customers had been disconnected and will be held back, which held back hygiene in their homes. Now, the corporation will also waive off reconnection fees, but also engage their customers to give them a chance to clear their bills in the agreed installments. Details in this report.
National Water and Sewerage Corporation customers that were disconnected due to failure to meet their outstanding water bills are yet to smile as the corporation moves to reconnect them back.
We put in place a system of talking to those customers, encouraging them, and telling them that please come back on supply. If there's a bill, we can discuss the way you can pay it in installments.
The Managing Director, National Water and Sewerage Corporation, Engineer Dr. Silva Mugisha, says they conducted an analysis in which they discovered that 10% of their customers were disconnected for non-payment of bills or other related inconveniences, which hampered their health and hygiene systems in their homes.
Because we don't connect people to disconnect them. We connect people so that they can continue to be on supply, so that they can improve the hygiene in the houses.
The corporation will reach a mutual understanding with the customer to waive off reconnection fees and give chance to the customer to start paying the bill basing on the agreed installment.
When we reconnect them, we shall keep monitoring, because we shall enter into what we call a payment agreement with them. These payment agreements will be monitored. There are officers there who keep following up on these payment agreements. So if we agree that every week you will be paying 50,000 or 5,000 for whatever the case, when that period comes, we shall be checking on you.
Encha Emmanuel, the General Manager, National Water Sewerage Corporation Mbarara, says water is the cheapest resource, but their customers use it anyhow, forgetting that they will be billed at the end of the month, which results into failure to meet accumulated water bills.
Why should someone use the water for domestic use to water gardens?
Engineer Silva also cited a surge in cases of water thefts and vandalism of National Water and Sewerage Corporation equipment. The non-revenue water which the corporation pumps but ends up being stolen now stands at 30%, which Engineer Silva says is a big loss to National Water and Sewerage Corporation.
So that means the money that would be getting out of 30% of our production and supplied water, we are not getting it.
He also took a flash on the Kagera River Water Project, which the government of Uganda decided to undertake as the source of water to supply River Rizi in Mbarara, whose existence hangs in balance.
The Kagera project is ongoing. We first did the feasibility studies. We have now almost completed the detailed designs, and we are now embarking on getting a contractor to start construction.
250 towns in Uganda have already been connected to constant water supply, with 15 million customers currently on their ranks.
Yes, just so you know, from the 22nd to the 26th of March will be Uganda Water Environment Week. We thank you for Be a part of the UBC Lunchtime News. My name is Wadulo Arnold. Do stay tuned for more news in our subsequent bulletins. From the team, we must say good afternoon.
Beyond Beauty Parlor and Spa, your beautification destination. We believe in sweetable beauty. We